Hi everyone, we're here at Studio 360 at F5 App World 2024 in San Jose, California, F5's premier application security and delivery conference. I'm joined by Buu Lam from F5 DevCentral. Could you give us a quick introduction of yourself, Buu? I know a lot of people know you from doing these types of videos, but tell me about your past here at F5 and what you do now.
So I actually started back in 2011,
Wow.
if you recall. It was a good year.
Yes, it was a good
actually.
year for F5. It was my year for F5 too.
Picked up a lot of good folks that year. And I started as a solutions engineer at F5, and I actually used to work for a partner previous to that. So I went from partner engineer to F5 solutions engineer. And then after doing 10 years of that, I moved on to I shouldn't say moved on, but I moved over to the DevCentral team to be one of the community evangelists there.
That's awesome. You've always been somebody I've gone to give me the information about what I needed to know about a product launch or a piece of technology, or even for me as a layman to ask the silly questions. So help our partners get an overview of WAAP.
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, there's actually a video on a YouTube channel called F5 DevCentral.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look up on there, Brightboard lesson, what is WAAP?
Cool.
There's actually an explanation of that. And I go through, yeah, it's me. I go through and I actually draw out all the components of a WAAP. So partners can actually go through that. But in a nutshell, WAAP is a combination of our web application and API protection solution set, if you will. So we can protect web applications, we can protect APIs, we have protections against automated threats as well, and against DDoS mitigation. And those are all of these things that F5 has pieced together over time, and now we've actually pulled all of that together into a pretty cohesive solution.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So what's that differentiation then between things like advanced WAF that our partners know really well and what we're doing with WAAP now? Like, why are we so excited about WAAP?
Well, I think we're really excited because it simplifies things for partners and for customers. So now partners can go in and they don't have to think about, hey, what are all these pieces that I need to pull? Because they're actually deployed on different platforms. So now I have to be a big IP expert and actually get into the routing and the networking side of things and the security side of things. And worry about all that provisioning as well, like actually getting hardware into data centers or potentially getting software loaded onto hypervisors or whatever that might be. Instead, with something like WAAP, and especially with distributed cloud WAAP, I should say, now partners can go in and they don't have to worry about that part. They can worry about focusing on the customer and what they're trying to achieve. So here is one place that you go, Mr. Customer or Mrs. Customer, and now let's figure out what you want from there, but you don't have to worry about necessarily throwing stuff into your data center, piping that in, or even going to the cloud team and getting all that stuff provisioned in cloud. Instead, you go there and worry about the actual problem at hand.
That actually sounds like a big theme for our conference, making things ridiculously easy for the customer. And I think that's a great opportunity for our partners to help them streamline. We're all dealing with skills shortage and trying to get our partners to help our customers with that higher priority in their jobs every day and take out the things that, quite honestly, were just bogging them down in their ability to do. I think that's a great opportunity for partners. What are some of the things you're hearing from partners that they're excited about here at App World, or just in general with what's going on with F5?
They like the story that, you know what, and you know what, this is our opportunity to tell them that in person, but we haven't been together for a few years now. F5 has changed over those few years.
Absolutely.
And yeah, we do things to communicate all those changes to people, but to be able to bring everybody together, to be able to look, you know, I'm pointing at the keynote ballroom right now, but to be able to sit there and listen to Kara tell the story of how this actually all fits together, I think it makes more sense when you're in person and you can consume all that and you're in the environment. And now partners can go back and talk to everybody else in their organization and to their customers and say, okay, I get the whole story now. I get that. This is why we have Big IP. This is why we have Nginx. This is why we have distributed cloud. And we can weave that into our overall story because those partners are dealing with other things as well. They're dealing with storage servers. They're dealing with other security parts of the infrastructure as well and the cloud infrastructure. Now they know where all that fits in there.
Absolutely. I'm gonna do a shameless shout out for the fact that App World's going to go on the road. And so for customers and partners who weren't able to come here to San Jose, we have an awesome setup of dates around the world that people can come hear this message. So whether you're a customer or a partner, join us in those other cities. I think it's going to be an amazing chance to hear this story, especially for those who weren't able to be here. So I guess the final question I'm going to ask you is, what do you see as the immediate opportunity for our partner community to help customers with WAAP problems, with their challenges in whether it be, what has been the traditional WAF space or bot now, and across the portfolio, really.
Mm-hmm. You know what? This might not be the answer that most people think of, but I got this answer from one of our partners yesterday that I talked to, is actually not even talking about product. Talking to your customers and listening first. And the more you listen, that solution will come out. So yes, you've been here, you've heard about all of the products and solutions, so that'll be in the back of your mind. But if you just sit down and you actually listen to what they're going through and listen to their business challenges, like, it's one thing to actually try to sell something like a bot solution, but that solves maybe one specific thing in there. If you're actually listening to what that person is trying to accomplish, there's probably everything else that WAAP actually covers. If you listen to all those things and then going to the customer and presenting back, maybe it's a separate meeting after you've done all that listening, you go back and say, I've heard you, and you know what, you said that one thing, but you also told us about all these other business objectives that you have going on right now. And now I can help you with that problem here, but I can also offer you something within the same solution set that's going to drive towards the value that you're going to get out of that overall business outcome. And then it's going to be easier for you to get funding for that project.
Absolutely. That's the understanding what outcomes that the customer has and being able to not just fit a product, but actually be able to sell across, solving problems both with product, but also with services. Right?
Totally.
That is so important to so many of our partners. So Buu, this was really fun for me. I got to flip the interview and take you into the hot seat and get you to talk about it. So thank you for joining me today, and thank you everyone for watching. You can find more videos at F5 App World when you follow us on LinkedIn, X, YouTube, Partners Central, and on F5.com. We'll see you on the next one.